Hey everyone, I'm Taylor from Chimera, here with Tracy from the CCFR. Today we're talking a little bit about what's going on in Canadian gun rights, what the CCFR is up to, what the amnesty extension means, and what you need to know as a Canadian gun owner. So thanks for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting with you and hearing what's been going on. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Well, we've been crazy busy. As you know, we've got the largest and most comprehensive court challenge against the May 1, 2020 OIC gun ban.
Right.
We had a court date for Monday set for our injunction to, of course, force an extension on the amnesty, and just in the nick of time, the government went ahead and did that. So they knew full well we were going to win that injunction. So anyways, at the end of the day, that's exactly what we needed. I was concerned about the length of time they were going to extend it. I mean, 6 months would have been good for them, not good for us. We've got a year and a half. So we've been extended to October 2023. A lot can happen in a year and a half, as you know, in politics. We can have a court decision, we can have an election, all kinds of things can happen. So at the end of the day, it's good news for gun owners. It buys us a little more time, which we need. Time is a little more on our side now, and we're going to go straight ahead with the court challenge. So yeah, we've actually had 2 wins this month. We won another one, I think it was March 11th, a decision from Associate Chief Justice Jocelyn Gagne. She ruled against the government and with us to compel them to put forward some documents that were required for some of the affidavits that they had put forward. They declined, the Attorney General refused, and she forced their hand and compelled them to. So that's 2 wins this month. So
nice.
It's a long, expensive battle, but you know, it's going okay. It's going okay.
That's awesome, and yeah. I think I can speak for Canadian gun owners when we say that we appreciate what you're doing for us, and that it makes a difference, and you guys can start to see the difference hopefully as we talk about this and make sure people hear about it. And I also wanted to bring it back to that extension you mentioned, because I don't know if everyone totally understands what it is, what it means, how it affects the OIC as it stands. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so originally the amnesty would have ran out at the end of April 2022, so the end of next month. And at that point, you would have been compelled by the government to either have your firearms, your newly prohibited firearms, deactivated, which is costly and of course destroys them, or turn them into the government. They call it a buyback program. I mean, that's semantics, where we never bought it from them to begin with. But you would sell your firearms to the government for some probably crazy discounted rate. I'm not even sure what that would look like, if you would actually get a check or cash or maybe just a tax credit. I have a hard time picturing the Liberal government cutting checks to gun owners. So, we're not entirely sure what that would have looked like, but that was imminent. And we were, 8 weeks away from having to do something about it. So, of course, our legal team's been on it the whole time. We filed notice of an injunction weeks ago. A couple of the other cases, the Arkady Bushalev case did the same, and Christine Genereux, who's the young lady who's basically lawyerless and fighting it on her own, and she's killing it. She's doing a great job. So shout out to them for joining in on the injunction application. I'm not sure why the other cases didn't, but that's okay. In any event, we've got it. We've got the extension, and that buys gun owners time to continue supporting the CCFR, for our legal team to continue the fight in court, and hopefully get a positive judgment from Chief Justice Gagne. So
that's awesome. Great to hear, and thank you guys so much for what you're doing for gun owners.
Yeah, we're going to keep at it. It's definitely not over, but you can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved? What should they be doing as gun owners, even as civilians who don't own firearms or have a license yet? How can they support what we're trying to accomplish?
Well, the most important thing you can do is go to the CCFR and become a member. You don't need to be a gun owner to become a member. You just need to be somebody that supports an individual Canadian's right to own property, regardless of what that is. In this case, the government confiscating legally acquired property from Canadians who've done nothing to warrant it should scare all Canadians. What's next? Your car, your truck, maybe it emits too many carbon, atoms. I don't know, but it's going down a slippery slope, and I think it's important that we reel that power back in from the government, right? The other thing you can do is, if you are a gun owner, we've got a PR stunt that we've got planned for this summer for June 4th, and it's National Range Day. And this is a project where Rod and I were talking how there's a day for everything. There's a National Poutine Day, a National Hot Tub Day.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, right? And he says, why isn't there a National Gun Owner Day? And I said, well, if we're sitting around waiting for the government to give us a day, they're never going to do it. They want the opposite. So he said, well, we're not going to wait for it. We're going to take it. So we've taken the first Saturday in June every year will be National Range Day, a day to celebrate the 2.3 million legal licensed gun owners who enjoy their sport and their property safely, without issue, legally. If every single gun owner took 16 people out to the range over the course of a year, preferably on June 4th, that's the entire country. That's everybody. We're a country of 37 million people.
Yeah.
If every single gun owner took 16 people out, and we know that the very best way to influence a person's ideological beliefs about gun ownership is to take them to the range, right? If you're not a member of a range, take them out in the back 40. Go, maybe shoot some skeet or some trap.
Yeah.
Maybe take them out hunting. There's something everybody can do. Share some stuff on social media. Promote it. Go to nationalrangeday.ca. There's all kinds of resources there for you to use. There's logos, there's videos, there's animated logos. Let's get out there, promote our sport and our culture in a positive manner, and let's influence the decisions of Canadians. We don't need them all to become gun owners, but we need them to stop supporting bad Liberal policy.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And I think bringing Canadians out to the range and introducing them to the sport is really important, because even like I took my family to the range and I knew they probably weren't going to love it or become gun owners, but they had a good time with me, and it opened their mind to, okay, this is a sport and people do it and this is how they do it, and at least gave them that insight that maybe makes them have an educated choice rather than being on the other side of a fence, because it's very easy for us to get caught in like an echo chamber of our own people. So tell us a little bit more about this June event. Are there ranges that have already said they're participating?
Yeah, so if you go to nationalrangeday.ca, we've got an interactive map there. People are registering their events. I'm a little behind getting them plugged in. So, keep in mind, next week I'll get caught up when I'm out of here. But you can register your event. It'll be on there. People can go find an event near them. It's like a store locator. So you can go from find me event within 100 kilometers, find me an event within a day's drive.
Oh, wow.
People can upload their events on there. They can make promotional videos. There's all kinds of resources on there.
That's amazing.
So nationalrangeday.ca, this is not a CCFR branded event. So engage your wildlife federations, your hunting associations, the other national firearms associations. Everybody can get on board with this. It doesn't have CCFR anywhere on it, because this day, going forward, for all of history, belongs to every Canadian gun owner, not just the CCFR.
That's amazing. I really like that it's not a small view on this. It's the larger view. So this is a national event.
Yes.
Anyone in the country can participate.
Everywhere in the country. I want to see hundreds of events all across the country, in cities and towns everywhere. We're going to open the door to the community, host people, give them an opportunity. Some people, their only experience with firearms could be through violence or through TV or media or Hollywood, a negative impression. Let's change that. Let's draw a definitive line between the legitimate, lawful, safe use of firearms recreationally and illicit firearm use by criminals. We're not the same.
Exactly.
So let's get everybody out to the range or out in the back 40, and let's get the whole country shooting. June 4th, I want to see 20 years from now, it's just a normal, anticipated holiday that we all celebrate, and every range participates, and every gun owner participates.
That sounds great. June 4th, I can already say we're definitely going to do that. We're going to be participating, and we call on all of our fellow industry folks, ranges, clubs, training companies, manufacturers, everybody to participate, because I think this is an awesome initiative, and the more of us that participate and the more that we talk about it, the more we can reach, again, beyond our borders, right? Because I think you're totally right, Tracy, we need to go beyond our borders, or else we're never really going to accomplish true change until the rest of Canada sees that this is a sport that's, like an old and deep-rooted part of our society.
Exactly. It's entrenched. We've owned guns in this country longer than it's been a country. So, we've got to open Canadians' eyes, help them to stop support bad policy, and and just give them a legitimate experience where they can say, you know, I gave it a try and these people are right. It'll draw that definitive line between the acceptable, safe and legal use and the illicit use, and that's exactly what we need to do. So all hands on deck. There's no excuse why any business, club, or gun owner in this country can't do something, even if you just take a buddy out shooting in the back 40. Everybody can do it.
Let's do it. Thank you so
right.
much for your time, Tracy.
Awesome.
Keep up the great work.
Okay, thanks, you too.
Thanks, everybody.